How's it going, everyone? It's Artifact Day. I'm going to give you a free Vital preset using my Ocarina of Time. Let's have a listen to the recording that I've made firstly here. So I just did a little bit of a pitch modulation in the Ocarina just by taking my finger on and off one of the holes, and then I've created this little bass pattern here using the Ocarina. And if we just play that in the loop as well. Also wanted to say that I get a lot of requests in the comments like, oh, can you make this bass from this guy? Oh, can you make this bass from this guy? I think that's all really cool, like trying to recreate someone's bass, and I think you should definitely try to do it yourselves. But I personally don't really see much of a point, because I've always been of the opinion that I just want to always make something new and unheard. That's kind of what excites me about sound design. So sometimes I might do that, but generally I try to approach making sounds always something new and fresh. That's why I like using things like instruments, resampling them, try and get some new textures going on, and yeah, hopefully we can come up with something even new and kind of push our beautiful music of drum and bass forward some more. So let's have a quick look at the Vital patch here. I've recorded in the sample, which just kind of, I'll just loop this section here. So we just play out the sample simply, and then we've dragged the sample onto oscillator 1 here as well. And to get the timing right, so that it cycles through the waveforms, I put this LFO1, this sort of slow ramping up, onto this bar here. So you can see it starts to cycle through the waveform. I've played it at the same time as the sample, and then just adjusted the kind of amount to try and get it to sound like it's going in time. So let's try and do it again manually. So about there, it's kind of going at the right speed, the same as the sample. And the next thing I've done then is I've gone and introduced a couple of sine waves. So we've got one at sort of this -12, and then one at -24. So this is the real low end sub, and this is kind of the sub harmonic. And then just a combination of these are frequency modulating. So this lower one here, I'm frequency modulating into oscillator 2. And this middle one, I'm frequency modulating from the sample. And because this one is the kind of mid-range one, I've given this one a bit of width here on the unison. We just play it, we can sort of mix the sample frequency modulation amount to taste as well. So right about here, I get this kind of extra sweet spot where the mid-range starts to sort of growl a little bit, and it gets a little bit more up front. So that's why I've left it on about 20% here. There's always this kind of magic spot where these kind of frequencies start to blend really well together. And if I turn on this one here, similar thing with the oscillator 2, we'll blend that in. See, I get too high, it starts to get a bit messy and distorted, and too low, it's not really much going on. But around here, I've got this kind of nice kind of low end kind of growl coming through into the sound, which is what I'm really, really after. So that's pretty nice around here on these settings. And the last thing I've done is I've put on an extra LFO with this kind of quarter note setting, so we can get a bit more movement in a couple of different things. And I don't think I've used it on this page actually. I've just used the LFO1 on this slower ramp to control the pitch a little bit of the sample, so it pitches down a little bit here. It goes down, down, and the same thing on this sync mode here. If I were to take that off, it stays at this sort of high ringing pitch. But with this sync mode, we can kind of control the pitch a little bit. So it's it sounds like a video game character dying or drowning or something. Yeah, so I'm quite happy with that. And then I've already left the effects on here, but what I've basically just put on is a chorus, and I pretty much didn't really tweak it at all. just kind of mixed in the level a little bit on this like faster LFO here. A bit of in and out of chorusing, and then I actually put on this EQ, and you can kind of see on the EQ already these kind of massive frequency spikes here, and especially this one here. So what I decided to do was put a filter before that and just take some of that out. So I've just put in a notch filter and then adjusted it here and sort of looked at the spectrum in Vital already. Just to sort of target that area which was really popping out too much. You kind of just mix it in a little bit, the filter. And then on the EQ, we've just got a couple of modulations where we're sort of boosting this kind of mid-range, which was kind of lacking a little bit. Go a little bit heavier, maybe. And a little bit of boosting in the high end here as well. That sounds pretty nice about there. At the end, throw in a bit of distortion just to like bring everything together. And that sounds pretty nice. And in the context of the kind of loop, it just kind of works in this section here now. A little bonus tip, what I've done on this last part here, just I left the original sample in, and to create a bit of sort of detuning in the sound, just put on a pitch shifter and turned it up one semitone, and then just turned the mix to 50%. So we have a natural kind of detuning with the pitch just on that sample. You can hear there's a bit of a click at the start, so I'll quickly fade that in as well. Yeah, nice to use the little original sample hit as well. So if we again just go over to our bass that I've made today. This is called the Ocarina bass. I'm going to save it as 0.2 because it's a little bit better now. And that's going to be on the link down below, so you can download it for free. Because it's Monday, and well, I like Mondays, but in case you don't, maybe this will make your Monday a bit better. The last thing I've done is I've just checked out the frequencies on the span of the sound, and we can kind of see it's not the cleanest sound. We've got like quite a few sort of harsh frequency peaks here, and it's a bit sort of choppy. So what I've done, just to kind of finish it off a little bit, is I've just taken out some of these really harsh frequencies here around 2K. So just a little bit softer on the ears in that area, and then yeah, at that point it's a Ocarina bass, so you know you've got to give it a bit of credit. We've got it to pretty much fit in with the song, and yeah, hope you guys have a wicked day. Peace.